When I say the name Raffi, what comes to mind? I know I first think of Baby Beluga or Down by the Bay. I won't sing it. I'm not going to ruin that for you. The children's performer has sold more than 20 million albums, nearly 1 billion streams during his nearly 50-year career. And he's been a go to for generations of children. And while those classics from my childhood are still in his repertoire, he is still putting out new music and it is still aimed at kids. But he's also talking to the so called Beluga grads. I was surprised when I started following Raffi on Instagram. He gets political and he takes aim at injustices he's seeing in the world. He even has a new song coming out in October called ABC Democracy. He's playing a show in Regina on October 4th. He'll be in Saskatchewan on October 5th, but he has made time for us today. Hi, Raffi.
Good morning.
This is such a delight for me as someone who grew up singing Down by the Bay on repeat as a child. It must be weird for you to hear that from people who are fully grown adults at this point because you haven't aged at all, right?
No, but it's delightful to hear. It's a joy to hear that my music that started, my recordings for children started nearly 50 years ago. Still play in people's homes, and now we've got tens of millions of Beluga grads, people who grew up with this music, now sharing it with their children. And when we get together in Regina and in Saskatoon, it's going to be a love fest. We're going to be singing for the joy of it with those we love. And what a delight that I can still do this at my age.
What keeps you doing it after so many years? So many other people would have just retired and enjoyed the royalties.
What would I do if I retired? Like, retired from what? No, I'm engaged in life, and these days, especially when we need to defend liberty, you know, I'm there for it. All along, I have written and recorded songs on various global themes, as well as the children's work that everyone knows me for. So I'm happy to try and contribute in my own way, because there are such injustices going on worldwide that we have to speak up. We must call it out.
How did you first start performing for children? You could perform for anyone. What drew you to the younger crowd?
Well, it started on a rug on the floor in a nursery school in North Toronto with 12 kids and a couple of teachers and just a few songs. But when I recorded my first album for kids in 1976 called Singable Songs for the Very Young, somehow people found it irresistible. And they were buying the LPs from me, those round things that
Yes, yes.
they were buying them like in threes and fours to give out as gifts to people. And I'm going, whoa, I think I've got something here. So my modest folk singing career at the time then, evolved into this new calling, understanding how important music is in the lives of young children. And from then on, I devoted myself to children and respecting them as whole people. I've never advertised to kids, never, ever would do so. And I love and cherish who these young beings are. And I say the young child is the universal human.
What
Because
role?
everyone was a young child once, even if we
Yeah.
don't have one.
What role do you see yourself having as a children's performer? How do you explain your role in their lives?
I think it's for my fans to say who I am in their lives. For me, it's an honor just to hear them say, your music was a soundtrack of my childhood. Can you imagine how I feel when I hear that?
Do
And I run into my fans everywhere, like including where I live on Salt Spring Island on the West Coast. I'm in a grocery store and we have great socials in the aisles. Selfies and it's great.
Do you feel a responsibility, though, given that you have such young, universal humans before they're maybe tainted by the world?
Hmm. Well, there's always a responsibility when you're uh, working with young children or for young children, right? And I've been respecting that all along. And it's as I say, it's a joy to be of service, to be able to do it. My voice apparently is the same as it was back in 19 whatever. I mean, my voice hasn't changed. Uh, I guess not doing hard drugs and staying away from other things, you know, a really good strategy. So I'm just having fun. And the new song, the ABC Democracy song, oh my goodness, this is amazing. It's going to come out October 24th. What I mean is, when I say it's amazing, is um, I've I've shared it with some close friends, and their 2-year-old and 4-year-old are loving it. They don't even know what democracy is, but they love it because it's playful. It's an up-tempo song, and I'm hoping that millions of kids will hear this song and grow into it and understand its importance, and that a love of liberty, fundamental freedoms, can be instilled in their hearts and minds from a young age.
You clearly care very deeply about kids and their reaction to your music. What are some of the issues that you're most concerned about these days as they pertain to kids?
Well, there's so many things we could talk about, but I have expressed my opinions about the place of screens in children's lives before the digital era, before we had what I call shiny tech devices.
Yeah.
It was a TV screen, TV monitors. That's what we used to worry about. We used to try and minimize screen time for the very young, the under 5, the under 6, right? Because that's when their emotional tone of being is setting, and that's when they're most vulnerable to all kinds of inputs. Now, I say to parents about these devices, I'm going like this as though I have a phone, right? I say, be careful with these devices. I know they're in all our homes. Yes, they're part of families. And yes, I know even excuse me, FaceTime or video with parents and their kids are right there, speaking to me. I know all that. But here's what I say. Your devices are yours, not your children's. Don't let them push the red button. These are yours. They cost hundreds of dollars, these things. These are not your children's toys. And about social media, not for kids. And Jonathan Haidt of the US is now really making headway in inspiring schools to remove cell phones from classrooms. He's amazing. He's got a book called The Anxious Generation. So about social media and kids, it's basically it's too much, too soon, too fast.
Mm-hmm. It really does force them to grow up very quickly, and you lose that innocence period.
It's really disturbing to see the damage that it can cause and does cause. So you will never regret waiting till at least 13, and Jonathan Haidt says wait till the child is 16 to give a smartphone to your teen. You'll never regret that. You will regret bringing them on to what we used to call the information highway with no seat belts too early. You'll regret that.
Okay, let's talk about the issues that concern you that don't necessarily pertain to children. You pull no punches on your Instagram. You have posted about the need for gun control. You have posted about the Epstein files. Why do you feel compelled to make your feelings known on some of these issues?
Well, why would I stay silent? You've got an imposter in the White House, a total fraud, pulling the wool over millions of people's eyes. It's the damage he's causing is incalculable. And I have millions of fans in the United States, and their families are suffering. I hear from them. How can I not respond?
What are you hearing from people when you post those kinds of things? Is it a welcome reaction? I find it interesting when athletes, musicians, anyone who's not in the political space weighs in, sometimes they're told to just stick to what they do. Do you get that reaction?
No. In fact, they thank me. They say, I loved you as a kid. I love you even more now to see the posts like this. Look, we're a community, artists and their fans, and more than that, all of us now, especially in the digital age, I mean, we're all connected this way. We see the injustice here and there, the genocide in Gaza and so on, and we've got to speak out. The innocents are always the children, always. How can we not speak out on their behalf?
Let's go back to ABC Democracy
Okay.
because I understand it comes complete with an online study guide. Tell me more
It
about
will,
this.
well, it'll be for kids who are in grade 3 or older, and it'll be full of resources. It'll be online at raffifoundation.org. It'll be hyperlinked with all kinds of resources. You just click, and so it'll come with a description of what democracy is. It'll refer to lines from my song and then say a little bit more about them. Here's a little sticker that I had made. See?
That's cute.
So it'll come out as a single on October 24th. You can possibly pre-order it. And what I look forward to is the young child engaging the mom and dad in the song. And I feel as excited about this song, Sam, as any I've ever put out.
Is this the start of something new for you, the next generation of Raffi? Are you pushing yourself back into, back into the spotlight in the way that you did maybe when we were younger? I know people still love to see you live and all of those things, but is this the next step for Raffi?
Do go on. May it be so. Work is always evolving, for artists who continue to persevere and do it. And look, at my heroes are now in their early 80s, McCartney, Ringo, and so that they're kind of setting the pace. I'm saying, hey, if Paul McCartney can do a 3-hour concert and then do 5 encores all by himself, well, with his band, but I mean, he doesn't even take a break. It's a 3-hour concert. He stays in shape, so it behooves me to stay in shape, not only for my dog's sake, but for my fans and my music,
What do you want people to know about democracy? We'll leave this last word to you. What do you, not just kids, but what do you want people to know about democracy? It was enough for you to write a new song, to put all of this out, to create a study guide. This is obviously something very important to you.
We honor children when we respect them as whole people. It takes a democracy in which to have a child-honoring society. You can't have an authoritarian, fear-ridden regime to live in. That's not what we're here on earth to do. Why would we choose? No one would choose the loss of liberties. No one. Think about that for a moment. So why wouldn't we choose democracy? Why wouldn't we defend liberty? It's our duty. So I want children to have a sense of what we used to call civics. Maybe we still do. Back when I was in school, we called it civics. I want them to understand the importance of democracy and our role as citizens, our duty to our community.
Okay, I'm going to go a little off script here, but I'm wondering if you'll just sing us a couple bars of the new song.
ABC democracy. A right to live, a right to be. Think about that.
Thank you.
The right to be. What a concept.
The right to be. Raffi, thanks so much for
but
this.
I want to say, Sam, thank you. It's been a delight talking to you. And let me just finish by saying, in Regina and Saskatoon, we're going to be singing the favorites. Down by the Bay, Baby Beluga, Banana Phone. Yes.
Oh, Banana Phone, that's another one. Raffi, this has been a joy, both for me as a grown up and for my
Yeah.
childhood heart. I appreciate your time so much.
I've really enjoyed it. Thank you.